ओके, हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
वो है मंगलाचरण।
यस माता जी, माता जी हो गया मंगलाचरण।
Second time. So we are in which verse? Second canto, first chapter. Which verse? Katman Muni
18 माता जी।
18. So the example of Katwang Muni has been given. When Katwang Muni came to know that he has only a moment in his life, so then immediately he came to the earthly planet and took up Krishna consciousness. There Srila Prabhupada says, even if a person repents for 1 minute, 1 moment, oh, I have wasted my life in this body. I got a wonderful body, but I wasted my life. So even if that repentance is there, that I have wasted my life, that itself is enough to make a progress in Krishna consciousness. So it is said, in a sacred place, he should bathe regularly and sit down in a lonely place, duly sanctified. And in this way, he should remember Om, A, U, He should control the mind so as to not forget the transcendental seed. In 18th verse. Niyachet vishaye bhyokshan manasa buddhi saratihi mana karma bhirakshiptam shubharthe dharaye dhiya. Niyachet vishaye bhyokshan manasa buddhi saratihi mana karma bhirakshiptam shubharthe dharaye dhiya. So now, slowly, the mind, it becomes spiritualized. The mind withdraws itself from the sense activities, and by the intelligence, the senses are in control. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. So even if the mind is too much absorbed in material consciousness, just by engaging oneself in Krishna consciousness, what happens? It becomes fixed. It is said this body is like a chariot. The intelligence controls the mind, mind controls the senses. If the mind is completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, it becomes very easy for that intelligence to be absorbed, to absorb the senses in Krishna consciousness. This by the intelligence, vivekta. Intelligence means the discriminating factor. So that is how the intelligence directs the senses to get absorbed in spiritual activities. So that is why it is said the first process of spiritualizing the mind is to chant the holy name. Chant Om, chant the holy name. Actually, the holy name is nothing but Om only. In fact, it is the better version of Om. If you chant Om, it indicates Krishna. But how many of us really can meditate on Krishna by chanting Om? That is why the clear version, or you can say the better version or clear version of Om is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this way, automatically there is a yoga process, there is a breathing control, everything automatically happens. Because when you are chanting Mahamantra, you have to control your breath. But you are not paying attention in that, but it is happening automatically. So in this way, Niyat Cheda means withdraw the senses from the sense engagement. That is how the first thing a person should do is withdraw, focus. Mind is a place where thinking, willing, feeling happens. So the intelligence should guide the mind to look at the mind. One has to be very watchful. What is happening at the level of mind? Oh, let me absorb the mind in Krishna. My mind is going heavy. That is why the senses are also going heavy. Let me focus the mind in Krishna. That is how slowly the person becomes completely spiritual conscious. Okay. Vrindavanila Mataji, hope your health is good after a long time.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat. नियच्छेद विषयेभ्योक्ष मनसा बुद्धि सारथिः मनः कर्मभिरक्षिप्तम् शुभार्थे धारयेत् धिया. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Purport. The first process of spiritualizing the mind by mechanical chanting of the pranava, omkar, and by control of the breathing system is technically called the mystic or yogic process of pranayama, or fully controlling the breathing air. The ultimate state of this pranayama system is to be fixed in trance, technically called samadhi. But experience has proven that even the samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. For example, the great mystic Vishwamitra Muni, even in the stage of samadhi, became a victim of the senses and cohabited with Menaka. History has already recorded this. The mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious status and thus disturbs one from 100% engagement in self-realization. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami recommends the next step of assured policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad Gita 6.47. Thus, the mind being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord by the different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. If performed under proper guidance, that is the surest path of progress, even for the disturbed mind. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So here the process of Ashtanga Yoga has been given. There pranayam, controlling the breath, pratyahar, even removing the sense objects at the level of the mind also. How still he will reach up to the stage of dharana, dhyana, okay, samadhi also. But real meaning of samadhi is what? Samyag adhyate asmin atma tattva yathatve. Still we do not understand our constitutional position. So-called samadhi of Ashtanga Yoga becomes useless. We may say, I have controlled my mind, but the mind is not so easy to control. It has been said that mind, even in the Bhagavad Gita, we have said, it is like a boat. If the wind comes, it can go here and there. A person of discrimination also, very clear in Bhagavad Gita, it has been given. Even a man of discrimination finds it difficult to control the agitating mind. There the example of sage Vishwamitra has been given. It's not so easy to control the mind. Even a man of discrimination thinks. So the best is engaging. See, one is withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. One is engaging the sense objects in Krishna service. That becomes more easy. Because at the level of pratyahara, at the level of mind, even though you may close your eyes from the sense objects, the sense objects are hovering the mind. What to do with the mind? So that is why it is said, one is a negative preaching. Don't do this, don't do this. Naiti, naiti, naiti. Close your eyes, close your nostrils, close all your senses. One is engage your senses, engage all the sense objects in the service of Krishna. That is the real meaning of samadhi. So then how to, then dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Because dharana comes, then dhyana comes. Where to meditate upon? Because in Patanjali Yoga, or the yoga system, you can say, They meditate on an artificial Paramatma. So instead of meditating on artificial Paramatma, here very clearly it has been said, you meditate on the limbs of the Lord. And that a devotee does by chanting, because chanting is the best yoga system. In all the yoga system, Dhyana Yoga, then you have Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. In the Bhakti Yoga, you can easily focus on the holy name. You can easily focus on the limbs of the Lord. Tatrika Vaibhav Dhayayed Avyu Chinnena Chetasa Mano Nirvishayam Yuktva Tatha Kinchana Smareta Padam Tat Paramam Vishnor Mano Yatra Prasidati Tatraika Vayavam Dhayed Avyayam Dhayed Tatraika, it is actually Tatra Ekaha Avyayam Dhayed Tatraika Vayam Dhayed Avyu Chinnena Chetasa without getting deviated from the complete form. Chetasa by the mind. Manaha Nirvishayam Yuktvaha. Mind is not contaminated by the sense objects. Nirvishayam Yuktva. Why it is dovetailed to Krishna, dovetailed to the chant, to the dhyana process. Tata kinchana na smared. Tata kinchana na smared. Padam tat paramam Vishnu. So mind becomes free from the sense objects. Now there is no other thought. Na kinchana. There is no other thought. Because the mind is completely focusing on Paramam Vishnu. Padam. Padam here refers to the lotus feet. Or we can also say Padam refers to the great personality. Padam also refers to his holy abode. So mind is prasidati, reconciled, or mind has attained the mercy. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rasyopajayate. Prasade prasidati. Prasidati means now it has attained the mercy of Lord. So by meditating on the limbs of Vishnu, one after another, without being deviated from the conception of the complete body, thus the mind becomes free from all sense objects. There should be no other thing to be thought upon. So other all thoughts, whatever comes, so that thoughts automatically vanishes. If a person just focuses on the holy name, on the beautiful form of Krishna. So here for the Ashtanga yogis also, this is a process given, or this is a method given. If you really want to attain the stage of Samadhi, and if you really want to know what is dhyana, then meditate on the limbs of the Lord. But do not forget that Lord has a beautiful form, complete body, complete form. Not just limbs of the Lord, no, Lord has a complete form. So that is why devotee is recommended to focus on the holy name, and holy name reveals the beautiful form of Krishna. You don't have to like limbs of the Lord, focusing on the hands, focusing on the feet of Lord, focusing on the flute of Lord. You don't have to do. Automatically Krishna will reveal his beautiful form. The revelation is by Krishna's mercy. Tasyete katitayartam prakashante mahatmanah. Automatically it will happen. We just have to serve the holy name, serve the Vaishnavas, serve Guru Acharya. Tasyete katitayartam prakashante mahatmanah. Krishna will reveal. It has been given. So that is prasidati. So the mind which is always focusing on the holy name, that is a blessed mind. Other all thoughts automatically will go away. So as much as possible, a devotee should focus on the holy name of Krishna. Okay, Aruna, read. Unmute, Aruna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, shall I read?
Yeah.
No, the signal was not proper, so I couldn't hear. Tatraika vayavam dhyaye chinnena chetasa mano nirvishayam yuktva tata kinchana nasmaret padam tatparam vishnor mano yatra
Paramam.
prasidat
Paramam.
padam tatparamam vishnor
Mano yatra
mano yatra prasidatti. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Foolish persons, bewildered by the energy of Vishnu, do not know that the ultimate goal of the progressive search after happiness is to get in touch directly with Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Vishnu Tattva is an unlimited expansion of different transcendental forms of the personality of Godhead, and the supreme or original form of Vishnu Tattva is Govinda or Lord Krishna, the supreme cause of all causes. Therefore, thinking of Vishnu or meditating upon the transcendental form of Vishnu, especially upon Lord Krishna, is the last word on the subject of meditation. This meditation may be begun from the lotus feet of the Lord. One should not, however, forget or be misled from the complete form of the Lord. Thus, one should practice thinking of the different parts of his transcendental body, one after another. Here in this verse, it is definitely assured that the Supreme Lord is not impersonal. He is a person, but his body is different from those of conditioned persons like us. Otherwise, meditation beginning from the Pranava Omkara up to the limbs of the personal body of Vishnu would not have been recommended by Shukadev Goswami, attainment of complete spiritual perfection. The Vishnu forms of worship in great temples of India are not, therefore, arrangements of idol worship as they are wrongly interpreted to be by a class of men with poor fund of knowledge. Rather, they are different spiritual centers of meditation on the transcendental limbs of the body of Vishnu. The worshipable deity in the temple of Vishnu is identical with Lord Vishnu by the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Therefore, a neophyte's concentration or meditation upon the limbs of Vishnu in the temple, as contemplated in the revealed scriptures, is an easy opportunity for meditation for persons who are unable to sit down tightly at one place and then concentrate upon Pranava, Omkara, or the limbs of the body of Vishnu, as recommended herein by Shukadev Goswami, the great authority. The common man can benefit more by meditating on the form of Vishnu in the temple than on the Omkara. The spiritual combination of AUM, Om, as explained before. There is no difference between Omkara and the forms of Vishnu, but persons unacquainted with the science of absolute truth try to create a distinction by differentiating between the forms of Vishnu and that of Omkara. Here it is indicated that the Vishnu form is the ultimate goal of meditation, and as such, it is better to concentrate upon the forms of Vishnu than on impersonal Omkara. The latter process is also more difficult than the former. Hare Krishna.
Here, 8 stages have been given from the 17th verse. If you see, 8 stages. Dhira, I'm putting that. 8 stages are what? Yam. First is what? Yam. What is it? Yam here? Be dhira. Adopt brahmacharyata. Yam means follows the rules. Brahmacharyata. That is yam. Niyam. Brahmacharyata means don't do this, that. Yam comes. Regulations. Brahmacharyata. Second is take bath in the holy water. Niyam. Rules. Third is sit in the kushagras. Asan. Go to the solitary place. Sit. That is what is that? Asan. Then what was there? Pranayam. Chant Om. Breathing techniques. Pranayam. Then in the 18th verse, so first 4 was there in the 17th verse. Next 4, 2 are divided. 18th you have 2, 19th you have 2. What was the 2? Pratyahara, Dharana. Pratyahara. So even with the level of mind, remove the sense objects. Pratyahara. Dharana, take the form of Lord. Shubharte dharayedhya. This is Shubha. Just take to the form of Lord, the help of intelligence. So that is dharana. And then meditate. Meditate. Not just on the limbs of the whole body of Lord. Meditate. And how should be the meditation? Uninterrupted. Uninterrupted mind. Just meditate. And in this way, when the dhyana is perfect, then a person can attain samadhi. Samadhi is this padam. This padam refers to samadhi. Padam refers to the abode of Lord. Padam refers to padam yad vipadam natesha samashita ye padapallava plavam mahat padam punnesho murari. Taking complete shelter of Lord. That is only Atma Tattva. See, by this padam word, we can understand that one has to take the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord. When he will take the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord, only when he understands that he is not the body, he is soul, and he is subservient, he is servant of Krishna. So he has to understand Atma Tattva. He has to understand about himself. Then only he will take shelter of Krishna. That is how this padam word indicates samadhi. So in 17th and 18th and 19th, all the 8 processes of Ashtanga Yoga has been described. Okay. You can write the words representing. One is Dhira. Dhira for Yama. For Niyama, it is taking bath. What is that word for taking bath? Shushau Jalapatuhu, Punya Tirtha Jalaputaha. That whole thing refers to taking bath. Then Shuchau Vivikta Asino, third one, Asana. Abhyasena Mana Shuddha Trivida Brahmaksharam Param Mano Yacheda Jitashvaso Brahma Bijam Avismaran. That is pranayama. Manaha Yacheda Brahma Bijam. Brahma Bijam means Om. That refers to pranayama. Then Pratyahara. Niyacheda Vishayobhyo Manasa Buddhi Saratihi. So Niyacheda. Restrain the senses. Restrain the mind also. Restrain the mind. Then Manaha Karmabhir Akshiptam Shubhate Dharaye Diya Dharaye Dharana. Then Dhyaye the Dhyana. Next verse, 19th verse. Dhyaye the Dhyana. And then Padam. Padam has many meanings. Understanding the position or the nature of this material world. Padam yad vipadam natesham. Understanding the nature of this material world is nothing but a shashvatam dukkhalayam. There is a abode which is free from all the material illusions. So in this way, that padam belongs to Krishna. Okay, now 20th verse. Rajas bhayam, rajastamo bhayam, akshiptam vimudham mana atmanah, yached dharanaya dhiro, hantiya tatkrutam malam. Rajastamo bhyam akshiptam vimudham mana atmanah, yached dharanaya dhiro, hantiya tatkrutam malam. Now, Rajaha Tamaha is Rajas and Tamas, Akshiptam. It agitates and bewilders. Vimudham Manaha is Rajas and Tamas. How to control this Rajas and Tamas? It doesn't matter which age you are. This Rajas and Tamas are a very powerful nature, material nature, which agitates and bewilders the mind. Atmanaha yached. Now one can rectify this. How? Dharanaya dhiraha. And one can pacify also by just taking the holy name, the conception of Vishnu Dharanaya. Hanti ya tatkrutam malam. Very easy to remove. And it can be easily pacified by cleaning the dirty things. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam. We chant, no? We should chant. While chanting, we should actually remember what we are doing. It's not just ritualistic chanting. One is okay, finish it. Shiksha Shtakam over, then Nama Prad over. No, while chanting, we should understand we have got a wonderful jhadu. Harinam is a wonderful jhadu to cleanse our consciousness. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhava maha davagni nirvapanam. It is davagni, bhava. Bhava sagar is a agni. And this Agni is Adi Bhautik Tapa, Adhyatmik Tapa, Adi Devik Tapa. Anything can come in between our sadhana. Sometimes our health is not good, sometimes our mind is not good, sometimes others disturb us, sometimes the nature disturbs us. Too hot, not able to chant, too cold, not able to chant. So nature sometimes disturbs. That's why one has to pray to Lord, oh Lord, just allow me to use your powerful astra. And that is his holy name. His known holy name is the strongest astra to keep oneself in Krishna consciousness. Or there will be many disturbing elements, many disturbing elements. Some may praise you, and some may just disrespect you. So many things you have to experience, and these experiences should never come in way of our devotional service. That is a prayer. Oh Lord, with this jhadu, let me remove all the disturbances. Cleansing the mind means what? Many disturbances will come. Some may praise you a lot. You may get that day you are like king. You're glorified like anything. One day you will be thrown out. So take the jhadu and just keep them aside. Experiences, keep them aside. Keep them aside. And let the mind be focused in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes attachment, sometimes detachment. All these things are only bewildering us. So here very clearly it has been said, one's mind is agitated sometimes by passion. Passion means something which always you get something according to what you want, that is passion. Tamas, anger, irritation, this is tamas. So all these things may come, but one has to rectify by understanding our relationship with Krishna. That is why it is given here Atmanah. It's Atmanah, Atmanyevatmanaha Tushtaha. When Stita Pragyastaka Bhasha, this was a question asked by Arjuna, the answer is Atmanyevatmanaha Tushtaha. The soul is satisfied because mind is pure. Or mind is satisfied because the soul is placed in its constitutional position. So this is the answer. What is the lakshana of a self-realized soul? He is always peaceful. He is always peaceful. Okay. Sanjay Prabhu, read. Unmute yourself. Unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tanvat Pranam. Rajastamobhyam akshiptam vimudham mana atmana yached dharnaya dhiro anti ya tatkritam malam. One's mind is always agitated by the passionate mode of material nature and bewildered by the ignorant mode of nature. But one can rectify such conceptions by the relation of Vishnu and thus become pacified by cleansing the dirty things created by them. Purport. Persons generally conducted by the modes of passion and ignorance cannot be bona fide candidates for being situated in the transcendental stage of God realization. Only persons conducted by the mode of goodness can have the knowledge of the supreme truth. Effects of the modes of passion and ignorance are manifested by too much hankering after wealth and women. And those who are too much after wealth and women can rectify their leanings only by constant remembrance of Vishnu in its potential impersonal feature. Generally, the impersonalist or monist are influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance. Such impersonalists think of themselves as liberated souls, but they have no knowledge of the transcendental personal feature of the absolute truth. Actually, they are impure in heart on account of being devoid of knowledge of the personal feature of the absolute. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that after many hundreds of births, the impersonal philosopher surrenders unto the personality of Godhead. To acquire such a qualification of God realization in the personal feature, the neophyte impersonalist is given a chance to realize the relation of the Lord in everything by the philosophy of pantheism. Pantheism, in its higher status, does not permit the student to form an impersonal conception of the absolute truth, but it extends the conception of the absolute truth into the field of the so-called material energy. Everything created by the material energy can be dovetailed with the absolute by an attitude of service, which is the essential part of living energy. The pure devotee of the Lord knows the art of converting everything into its spiritual existence by this service attitude. And only in that devotional way can the theory of pantheism be perfected. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So to acquire such a qualification of God consciousness in personal form, the neophyte impersonalist is given a chance to realize the relation of the Lord in everything by the philosophy of pantheism. So what is the meaning of pantheism? Seeing Lord in everything. I'll start seeing in everything. So that is known as Virata Rupa. Focus on the Virata Rupa. At least by focusing on the Virata Rupa, slowly understands Lord is there in each and everything. You know, pantheism. In all natural things, just see Lord in everything. Slowly, he will start seeing the opulence of Lord. It's not so easy to understand sweetness of Lord, the sweet feelings of the Lord with the devotees. That's a very greater topic, the greatest topic, the highest mystery, which even Brahma cannot understand. Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Bhuvyanti Yat Suraya. Krishna has kept these topics very confidential even from Adi Kavaye, from Brahma also. So thinking that, oh, I am a great devotee and all these things, actually one should, that is why here it is recommended. At least become God conscious. How he becomes God? Because he's an impersonalist, he's a neophyte impersonalist. So then Lord teaches Vibhuti Yoga while drinking water. See that I am the taste in water. Relish, oh, you are tripta, the tripti is given by me only. So when he starts seeing in nature, he starts seeing Lord in everything. Oh, the color in the leaf is put by Lord. He starts seeing, and slowly, he comes to an understanding. Yes, like Lord says, oh, I am the hairs, the hills, the trees. The trees are my hairs. Why Krishna is giving all these things? So that as this is neophyte impersonalist, when he starts meditating on the natural things and starts seeing Lord in that, he's very ignorant. Because at the stage of dharana, again rajas and tamas, they act. It's not so easy to be focused. So again they will disturb. Again they will disturb. When they disturb, again he has to come back. Again he has to control the mind. Till the mind is not trained in Krishna consciousness, it's training actually. In the circus, animals are trained. In the same way, our mind is so stubborn. The thing not to be done, that only we will do first. It's a stubborn mind. That is why it is training the mind. What is Krishna consciousness? Is nothing but training our stubborn mind. So we have to train the mind, because at the level of dharana, again rajas and tamas can act and make us deviate from dhyana. Dhyana is not such a stage where you're completely focused. It can be deviated also. To reach the stage of samadhi is not so easy. There is self-realization. So at the stage of dhyana, like when you're chanting also, for some time you are very much cautious that you're chanting. Afterwards, it goes here and there, mind goes here and there. It's not just for Ashtanga yogis, it's for even bhaktas also. To be focused in the chanting process requires practice. That is why it is a training process. Sometimes previous thoughts comes, sometimes future thoughts comes, sometimes present disturbances are there. Shoka, moha, bhaya, paha, yasyam, vaishu, yamanayam, Krishna, parama, purushe. Bhakti utpadyate pumsam, shoka, moha, bhaya, paha. So it's not so easy. There is a training the mind. So now Shukadeva Goswami is teaching Parikshit Maharaj that one has to train even at the stage of dharana. He cannot have the pride, oh, I have crossed all the other stages. Now I am in the 6th stage. Krishna says, oh, I've got the 7th stage now. Krishna says you can be again put in the 6th stage also. So then, next verse. Yasyam sandharyamanayam yogino bhakti lakshana. Hari bol. So well. Yasyam sandharyamanayan yogino bhakti lakshana ashu sampadhyate yoga ashrayam bhadra ikshitah. Yasyam sandharyamanayan yogino bhakti lakshana ashu sampadhyate yoga ashrayam bhadra ikshitah. So nice process is given. What is a nice process? Even if this rajas and tamas are attacking, just remember. Remember. Dhyana. Go on remembering. Sandharya manaya. Fix up. Have this habit. That is why chanting process is most important. Like yesterday, some interview was given and there I was studying. For 9 months, I did not take up chanting process. Some artistic lady comes and tells me, what is the difference in just making in the hands and doing something, writing? By chanting, at least one is reminded, hey Baba, you were in the chanting process. Go back again. So remember, this is constant habit of remembering. Yoginaha bhakti lakshanaha. In this way, he is practicing. He is in the devotional system. Ashu, very soon. Sampadyatehe, he attains success. Yogaha ashrayam bhadram. That's because he is connected in devotional service, he will attain success. Success in what? Success in his yoga process. That is why this is Bhakti Mishra Yoga. Bhakti Mishra Yoga. He has taken Bhakti to attain success in the process. He is interested in liberation. What is the goal of Dhyana Yogi? To attain liberation. He attains. He gets liberated. He is not that interested in devotion service. But here, Srila Prabhupada says, he attains devotion service, Bhadram, under the direct shelter. But if you see in Bhakti Vidyabhushan commentary, very clearly it is because yoga process has been given. So here, in the process of dharana, the yogi who sees the Lord by dharana quickly completes Bhakti Mishra Yoga. So he attains Mukti, Bhakti Mishra Yoga, in which the person has desired liberation. But this can be attained only by some Bhakti. Without Bhakti, even to attain liberation is impossible. That is why the Samadhi for Ashtanga Yogi is only possible by the mercy of the devotees. So here, very clearly, if we see both the commentaries, by remembering, now Prabhupada is writing for the devotees. When Prabhupada writes the commentaries, he always focuses on Bhakti Yoga. But if you see technically, this is for Ashtanga yogis. He attains perfection, no doubt. Ashu sampadhyate yoga ashrayam bhadram ikshitah. Sampadhyate means attains success. In which? In yoga. So this verse can be for both. One is for Bhakti Yoga and one is for Ashtanga Yogi. Even an Ashtanga Yogi, just by remembering Krishna, taking Bhakti, taking the help of Bhakti, attains success. And for a devotee, just by remembering Krishna, always remembering Krishna, he will very soon attain devotional service. How will he remember Krishna? By devotional service. And very soon, how he is attaining devotional service then? He is attaining that Nishtha stage. We started with what? We started with Shraddha. We started with Shraddha, got Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivrutti, came to the stage of Nishtha. So for a devotee, this stage is Nishtha stage. So there he is fixed up in devotional service. Somebody says something, you will not run away. You will like. You will like if your guru scolds you, tells you, you rascal. You like. There you consider, yes, my guru considers me very dear. That is why he is scolding. You can scold only those who are yours. Simple. Only you can, those who are yours, you have authority to scold. You cannot scold somebody else's child. You can scold your own child. So when your spiritual master scolds you, you will like it. So that is known as Nishtha. You will like it. It will become your daily, you take a daily boost or something, drink, so that you get an energy. So Guru's scolding becomes your energy, boost to revive your spiritual consciousness. So in this way, under his direct shelter. So in this way, Lord keeps the devotee under his shelter by giving the shelter of his dear devotees. Simple. Okay. You will read. You have English book, Prabhu? Venkatesh Prabhu, you have English book?
Yes,
Can
Mataji.
read.
Yes. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. Yasyam sandharyamanaayam yogino bhakti lakshana ashu sampaddhate yoga ashrayam bhadra mikshitah. O King, by this system of remembrance and by being fixed in a habit of seeing the all good personal conception of the Lord, one can very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Success of mystic performance is achieved only by the help of the devotional attitude. Pantheism, or the system of the feeling of the presence of the Almighty everywhere, is a sort of training of the mind to become accustomed to the devotional conception. And it is the devotional attitude of the mystic. So that makes possible the successful termination of such mystic attempts. One is not, however, elevated to a such successful status without the tinge of the mixture of devotional service. The devotional atmosphere created by the panthetic visions develop into the devotional service in later days, and that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. So it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that the impersonal way of self-realization is more troublesome because it reaches the goal in an indirect way. So although the impersonalist also becomes obeys with the personal features of the Lord after a long time. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So here we'll stop because next verse is the question by Parikshit Maharaj. Any doubts here, you can ask. Or we'll do this 22nd verse, and then we'll start. Because let us see the question, what is asked. Rajovacha yatha sandharyate brahman dharana yatra sammata yadrushi va hare dashu purushasya manomalam. Rajovacha yatha sandharyate brahman dharana yatra sammata yadrushi va hare dashu purushasya manomalam. Now the question is asked, O Brahmana, Brahman, O Brahmana. Rajovach, the fortunate king is asking, Sandharyate. Now you have given one conception, yes, that one has to do, one has to dharana, one has to meditate and all these things. But where? Where and how? Where and how? Sammata. So you have described in a summary. I want it very elaborately now. Please describe Yadrushi. What is that way? How to meditate upon? Hareta Ashuhu. Hareta Ashu. How to remove? Hareta. Purushasya mana amalam. Mala malam. These dirty things are there in the mind. How to remove? See how deeply Parikshit Maharaj is asking. Have you any time asked like this? Oh, Guru Maharaj, so many dirty things are there. Envious. I envy my own person only. I envy devotees only. Leave aside envying other people. I envy devotees. If some devotee is progressing devotional service, I cannot see, oh Lord. Oh Guru Maharaj, what I should do? How I should remove these dirty things? Actually, we have to focus. The first class when I heard the initials, I used to hear this class, and where they used to say, see yourself. See yourself. Practically for 6 months, I used to hear same class. See yourself. Don't see others. Others may be wrong or right. Who are we to judge? See yourself. See yourself. Our God brothers may be right, wrong, whatever they may be. But we don't have any authority. Somebody said, he's sleeping, huh? He's sleeping, see? While chanting, he's sleeping. At least he has slept. He slept properly. We did not even sleep also, neither we chanted also. Because we were so fixed up in seeing that he is sleeping. So just by seeing somebody sleeping and finding a mistake, at least that person slept for 1 hour very nicely. This person neither slept nor chanted because his whole focus was on that person. So that is why one should be introspective. That means you see your own self. How many thoughts can come? How many dirty things enter? If somebody is progressing, somebody is praised, immediately, kuch kuch hota hai. I like that song. Why? Because that song applies to our enviousness. It doesn't apply to any love in this material world. There is no love only. And when we come with all these negatives, we only throw negatives even in the association of devotees. That is how the aparadha tendency starts. From where it starts? Because we always see negative, we bring negative, we give negative to others also. And in this way, the studying process is left aside. That is why this Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, we always keep us in the process of studying. Because we have no time, na? Immediately when exam comes, we have to focus in studies. Where there is time? So this is a nice process. The Prabhupada says study. There is so many things to think about. We think so many nonsensical things. We should concentrate on. We are not able to memorize one shloka. So many thoughts are there. That thoughts you bring. Okay. So nice question. How and where the mind should be applied, and how the conception can be fixed so that dirty things doesn't enter. So you have given a nice concept. So how this concept should be followed. Okay. Ravindra Sachiputra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Rajovacha yata sandharyate brahman dharana yatra sammata yadrishi vaharet ashu paurashya manomalam. Translation. The fortunate King Parikshit inquiring further said, "Oh Brahmana, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be purported by Srila Prabhupada." Yeah. The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. A conditioned soul is surrounded by the manifold miseries of material existence, but on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to dirty things in the heart accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. He is
Slowly.
actually meant to, sorry, he is actually meant to serve the will of the Supreme Lord. But on account of the dirty things in the heart, he likes to serve his concocted desires. These desires,
Voice
instead
is
of
echoing. Voice is echoing. So slowly. Slowly.
these desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, create new problems. These desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, creates new problems, and thus binds him to the cycle of repeated birth and death. These dirty things of putative work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by the association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord, being omnipotent, can offer his association by his inconceivable potency. Thus, persons who are unable to pin their faith on the personal feature of the Absolute are given a chance to associate with his Virat Roop, or the cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord. The cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord is a feature of his unlimited potency. Since the potent and potencies are identical, even the conception of his impersonal cosmic features helps the conditioned soul to associate with the Lord indirectly, and thus gradually rise to the stage of personal contact. Maharaj Parikshit was already directly connected with the personal feature of the Lord Krishna, and as such, he had no need to inquire from Sukadev Goswami about where and how to apply the mind in the impersonal Virat Roop of the Lord. But he inquired after a detailed description of the matter for the benefit of others who are unable to conceive of the transcendental personal feature of the Lord as the form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. The non-devotee class of men cannot think of the personal feature of the Lord. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the personal form of the Lord, like Rama or Krishna, is completely revolting to them. They have a poor estimation of the potency of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is explained by the Lord himself that people with a poor fund of knowledge deride the Supreme Personality of the Lord, taking him to be a common man. Such men are ignorant of the inconceivable potency of the Lord. By the inconceivable potency of the Lord, he can move in human society or any other society of living beings, and yet remain the same omnipotent Lord, without deviating the slightest form from his transcendental position. So, for the benefit of men who are unable to accept the Lord in his personal eternal form, Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Sukadev Goswami how to fix the mind on him in the beginning, and the Goswami replied in detail as follows. Hare Krishna.
So if a person is not able to focus or doesn't know about the form of Lord, then it is recommended focus on the opulence of Lord. Virat Rupa is nothing but opulence of Lord. And how to do that? Sukadeva Goswami is going to teach. So 23 to 39 is how to focus on the Virat Rupa. So wherever he'll see hills, oh, why he will see the trees, immediately he will be reminded. Okay. Any questions?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Yes.
Mataji, in these verses we have been seeing that
One
so
minute.
much of
Repeat.
in these verses we have seen there's so much of emphasis given on the meditation of the form of the Lord, on the form of the Lord. And so many devotees, they have already taken darshan of the Lord. And yet there is so much of difference in the vigraha that we see. Why is there a difference in the vigraha of the Lord?
Why there is difference in the Vigraha?
Yeah, like if his form is one, then in one place we see him plump, in one place we see him thin. So
Because
on which particular form do we?
see, that is why it is said Vigraha is Lord himself, no doubt. He is Lord himself, but he will reveal. Not by our seeing we are able to see Vigraha. We are showing ourselves to Vigraha. We are not, because we have still the materialized. That is why we are seeing him as plump or some skinny or some black or some white.
Yes.
But actually, Lord reveals. At that time, you will not find any difference. You will not find any difference. So it is
Then
not.
till then,
we
what
are
should we do,
serving the
Mataji?
Vigraha, we are serving the Vigraha and allowing the Lord to use our senses in His service. That is how, why we are decorating the Vigraha, so that our senses will be purified. It is, he is Bhushanam Bhushanangam. He gives beauty to the Abhushanas. He is not beautified.
Yes.
He himself is very beautiful. The difference in the Vigraha, because yes, Vigraha, first who is making, it is like the stones are there and the carving happens. So there the person's buddhi is used. Then afterwards the installation, you are bringing the pranas. You are invoking the Lord in the deities. When they are in the shops, till the time they are only statues. When they are brought, prana pratishtha is done, then they are vigrahas.
Very right.
So the differences is because of the carving structures. But when we see, he will reveal. We are only seeing. He will reveal. He will
Then,
reveal. That is
Mataji,
revelation.
does it mean that even Vishwakarma ji, who carved the deities of Madan Mohan, Govind Dev, Gopinath ji, then even he had his
But they are
limitations.
celestial carpenters. They are given. They are much higher than the carpenters of this material world. So Vishwakarma is Lord's carpenter. The Lord can show himself carving. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada told one of the Mataji to paint.
Yes.
She said, how am I going to do? He said, meditate upon. Lord himself will reveal and you can draw. That is why all her drawings are there in the book. I don't know the name.
Krishna book also.
Krishna book. So when Lord reveals, then only that artist can draw, not by his. Like that, how many artists are there? Not that everybody is an artist. Everyone is an artist, but only few can be spiritual artists.
When you say this, I'm reminded of one beautiful pastime wherein first time when they drew Panchatattva, they drew them as 5 female figures. Then Prabhupada had to correct them. They are not female. Thank you so much, Mataji. You have answered it very beautifully. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Sanjay Prabhu.
Mataji, I had one question is long, and again it is repeated without offending anyone. Almost everywhere Srila Prabhupada write, like I'll take a reference from one sentence. Effects of the mode of passion and ignorance are manifested by too much hankering after wealth and women. So why not opposite sex here? Always it mentions women only.
Here, women means man also. Women is
Okay.
hankering towards man. Man is hankering towards women. When we say women, generally women are compared to fire. Man is a butter. So fire is more dangerous than butter. Fire is there, butter will melt. That is why if fire is only not there, butter will be chup chop. That's why women has been told. Because Rajas and Tamas are actually more in a woman than in a man. That quality is more. But Sato should be trained. That is why women has to be engaged. That is been given. While making the, like you make a cloth, then you put plus points. In passion, you can tolerate also. A passionate person can tolerate. So that is why a woman gives the birth to the child, because she can tolerate. Passion is there. Passion has various advantages also. Generally, we see passion means passion has various advantages. You are passionate, then only you can do fundraising. Without passion, you cannot do fundraising. Okay. Any other doubt? Stop here. Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhubhyasya Vaishnavi Namo Vaishnavi Jai.